All right, I'm Chris Pappillion. I'm here with Chris Gonzales. He will be fighting November 1st at the Community Center at Tapper Scrap. So, Chris, what first got you into MMA?
I think just watching stuff on YouTube, watching people fight on the TV when pay-per-views came on and stuff, and then really just seeing their style, the flair with it, and I guess the attention that comes with being a fighter. That shit's badass. So like being a kid, seeing those guys step out the cage, and then everyone going up to them, I want to be that guy.
You want to be that guy?
Yeah.
Okay, so give me some fighters who motivated you. Like, whenever you saw them fight, you were just like, man, I got this shit like that.
I've always been a fan of the littler guys since, I've been small and stuff. So T.J. Dillashaw, Cody Garbrandt.
I like T.J.
Yeah, all those guys have really, really good footwork, and they're just well-rounded.
Dominic Cruz. I like Dominic Cruz. He's really awkward.
Like you said earlier, Demetrius Johnson. Just trying to be as
He's
well-rounded. Yeah. All the smaller guys are real well-rounded when the bigger guys can rely on power and stuff. So I've always liked small guys.
Okay, so what person in your life do you feel inspired you in your journey?
My coaches, of course, seeing my coaches go through what they've had to go through to get where they are, and then me wanting to be the same thing. And then, of course, with my pops passing away recently, that has to push me hard to, I guess, pick up the slack where he's not.
Yeah. So your dad, Chris Gonzales, he was one of my good friends, and I remember getting the call that Chris had passed away, and I saw it, and I was shocked. Like, you know what I mean? It was like a good friend of mine, a person I love, like a brother of me that I was really close to. Okay, so how does that inspire you? What fire does that bring to you? Like, I know, like, when I think about, like, deaths and my people that aren't there, how does that really light you up when it comes to motivation and what you think about in the gym, and how a normal person will want to quit when a workout's over, but then when you want to, like, make dad proud when he's looking down at you, how does that motivate you as a person?
Yeah, I just realized, I can't take any training session for granted. I can't take even a car ride for granted. That's all he got into was one car ride, and when something goes wrong, and then now he's not here, so it's really just realizing any moment could be your last moment, so it's time to put everything into it, and that's really it. He was a hard worker, so I draw from that. He works hard, so I think it just kind of is in my blood to be a hard working Mexican.
Yeah, he was a good hard worker and a good person. Okay, so like, how did you handle that? Like when you got the news and stuff like that, how did you feel at that moment? Because you had a fight not too long after that, right?
Yeah, I think I fought maybe a month after he passed away, but just really in disbelief. I mean, even I feel like up until recently, I still didn't believe he was gone. So struggling with, how to feel about that happening. I've never had someone die in my family before, so it's fucked up, really.
It's catastrophic.
Yeah. So, I mean, it tests your character for sure. Like, I didn't know who I was really until after this. Now I feel like I really know who I am. I felt like I knew who I was, but now I really know who I am. I've been drugged through the mud, and I had to get back up.
Yeah, he was a fighter too. He was crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's a fucked up situation, but you could always gain something out of it. I feel like being tougher, being there for your family when they're hurting.
Yeah. So so how, like, whenever he was raising you and stuff, what stuff did he teach you in growing up, like, that you draw from, that you always remember, like in the tough moments, that things that he would tell you?
Yeah, just work hard. He hated that soft shit. He liked working hard and just doing everything 100%. If you're gonna do it, you do it both feet in. You don't do it 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Make sure like this is what you want, this is what you do. So I think I made the commitment to do this, and this is what I do to make him proud. Like, I ain't going back on my shit now. I started this shit, now we gotta finish it.
We gotta finish it. Win, lose, or draw, right?
Always, yeah.
Yeah, I like that about you. You have a good spirit. So you're fighting at Tapper Scrap at the community center. Who is your opponent?
My opponent is Michael Moylan out of Striking.
Okay. So what are his strengths?
I would say striking. I think he comes from a good Muay Thai gym. I know some of the people he's trained with. They're good. And hopefully, I know he's tough. Yeah, I think he's a tough guy.
He's going to try to kick your leg off.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. Hopefully he comes to fight. I think he will. He's tough. I respect him a lot. And I want to get in the cage and just fight. That's what I do.
So his strength is standing on his feet?
I would say so, yeah. I don't know what he thinks, but I would say so.
Yeah, just because you're looking at it doesn't. Yeah, what you're gauging on is you're gonna have to fight standing up.
Yeah. What I've seen through his fights and stuff, I think he brings the pace. He likes to start hard. So do I.
Okay, so what do you feel are his weaknesses, or things that you can exploit, or things that you're good at that you may be able to utilize against him?
I think speed. I think like you could train for whatever you want to until you really get in there and you feel how fast I am. I think it's gonna be a shock.
A shock.
Yeah, it's gonna be a shock. Fast? I think so.
You think so? Sure. Yeah, that first thing is thinking.
Yeah.
You create by your own thoughts. So, okay, so we're wrestling. So you have no plan to wrestling at this point?
No, I mean I always do. It's in my back pocket. I'm a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. I've been training jiu-jitsu 6 years, so I've been doing it a real long time. I think people overlook my ground game, but I'm pretty skilled on the ground. With this time I've taken off, I've been able to train with really good coaches like John Donaher, some of the best grappling coaches really in Texas right now, in the world even. So training with those guys, and I've leveled up my grappling a lot.
Okay. So being a little guy, do you like to like grapple bigger people so that you're able to like get more strength than people that are a little bit bigger than you? So whenever you face somebody your size, you're able to handle it a little better.
I guess right now, I like to roll with upper belts. It sounds bad, but purple, brown, black belts is really what I prefer to roll with. Rolling with white belts now, regardless of the size, is very fun. They're just kind of.
Oh, you're saying it's a waste of time?
Yeah, not necessarily a waste of time. I like all my training partners, and I do train with a lot of white belts. I love y'all guys, but I do like training with the higher belts.
Because they have the skill, and
yeah, it's just
one
hard.
false move, you're dead.
It's hard, exactly. The pressure is different.
It's like chess.
Exactly, everything's different.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Okay, so you've seen the streaks. Okay, how do you handle the weight cuts of your fights? Because I've seen I always said that, man, this guy looks a little bit smaller than his opponents. So it's like, how do you handle the weight cut? Are you gaining weight? Are you losing weight? Are you just coming in like you come in? How do you handle that?
So most of my fights have been at 125, and I walk around about 125. So I feel like most of my opponents do have to cut a little weight, 10, 15 pounds, but I mean, it is what it is. Not no bitch, really, so.
Yeah, you just get it how you get it, right?
Yeah, take them as they come.
Okay, so then, yeah, even in that, so at that weight class, I'd say probably 10 pounds would be the difference. Like, maybe if you're like a 220-pound fighter, 20 pounds could be the difference.
Yeah.
On your weight class, it's probably, a 10 to 12-pound cut or 15?
I feel like
that they take, some people?
I talked to some of my opponents afterwards, and some of them have weighed up to 150, 155, so.
I mean, that's great. Does that become a disadvantage?
I feel like so, yeah. The cardio is not as good. If you get your chin touched, it goes a little weaker. But what the advantage is in that first minute, when their cardio is fresh, that strength is going to be off the chain.
And then like trying to grab them and tussle with them.
Yeah, so of course, if they're able to put you in a precarious position on the ground and just go off, of course they might be able to finish you in the first round. But things go past one round. It's
okay, bro. I heard you were a really good coach. Now I heard this from multiple people. Now you don't take coaching credit and stuff like that, but everybody from Johnny to Peter, they all talk about your coaching and attention to detail. So like when you're helping people and training people, like how do you go about like individualizing everybody and trying to work with their strengths and weaknesses and just being a coach?
Yeah, so I mean, of course everyone has their own style, their own what they like to do, and then I really first time I train with someone, I like to spar with them, get a feel for what they're good at. I'm like, well, you could do this better, you could do this better, or you already do this good, you do that good, and then you just build off that. I feel like you take like 3 things you're good at, you become great at them. You take 3 things you're bad at, you become good at them. And then you always just take those 3 things and then new 3 things all the time.
And sticking to the same thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an exercise. Some people say you have to change the exercise, but then like Dorian Yates and different bodybuilders are like, no, stick with the same thing and get great at them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because the muscle only knows fatigue, so then it grows from there. So I understand what you're saying. So that's a really good way to look at it. So what is your ultimate goal in MMA?
Of course, to hopefully be able to support myself and my family off of it. That'd be the best thing. But my coach always says there's nothing wrong with being a has-been. We do this shit because we love it. We don't care about what comes with it. We just do it because we love it. I fight because I love to fight. All that other bullshit happens. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I just love to fight.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. So where do you train at, and where do you prep for competition?
My main gym, my head coach is Johnny Aguilar with Monsters Den MMA. I have a boxing coach, Ray Perez, with Heart of a Champion, and I have a strength coach, Jimmy Hiscardo, getting me real strong.
Jimmy's bad, bro.
Yeah.
Jimmy's he was a good lifter in high school. He's a very good, in everything, aspect of weight training. He's a very good person and a good human being. That's a really good guy. He was strong as hell in high school.
Yeah, and he makes you work, you know what I'm saying? He gets my heart rate up. That's really what I've been telling him we need to focus on is the cardio. Like, let's get strong, let's get the cardio up, and let's be able to fight 9 minutes, balls to the fucking wall.
So in that, how do you go about, not losing too much muscle? Like, whenever you're going extensive cardio and then you're already a lighter guy, how do you try to go where, hey, man, I got to at least keep some of this weight on me just in case it goes to the ground or something like that? How do you go about that?
I just tell Jimmy if I feel like I'm losing a lot of weight, I'll tell him, like, yo, I'm losing some weight, what should I do? He gives me what I should do, and then I just correct, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like you always overshoot a little bit or undershoot a little bit, and you have to pick up or underdo some things. It's just every day, how do I feel, and then go about how I feel that day. What do we fix?
Okay. Okay. What are some of your favorite training movements? Like, okay, so like me and you go to the gym. What? Okay, like say I like these certain exercises. Give me 5 go-to exercises for you. Like 5 things that you love to do. It's in your arsenal, and this is what your bread and butter. What is it?
I mean, it's going to be, I guess, really the same thing for every MMA fighter, I feel like. But my favorite thing, number one, sparring. I love to spar. I love to hit mitts, hit the bag, and then weight training a lot, strength and conditioning, and then running. I feel like a lot of people don't run as much as they should. You need to get out on that road, and when it's hot outside, you need to go run. And no.
Where do you run at? Where do you run at?
Just on the track, right in front of the community center, so I can see it every day. I go look at the community center and I run, ready to fight.
Oh yeah. Okay, so like, your ultimate goal in MMA is, of course, do you ever plan to like try to UFC or anything like that?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. You know what I'm saying? Just get there. But like I said, I take one fight at a time, take them as they come, knock them down, line them up, knock them down, and we go from there.
Okay, do you have any sponsors at this time?
Just
So who helps you like get ready for the events and stuff like that? What do you do?
Right now, since I haven't fought in a while, I don't really have any sponsors. So if anyone wants to sponsor me, that'd be badass. Hook your boy up. But
yeah,
I got my coaches right now. Johnny Aguilar with Monsters Did MMA, sponsoring me, making sure my training's taken care of and stuff. He's all in there holding mitts for me, coming up with a game plan. You know, just being my head coach. Ray's been helping me out with my boxing.
Who's Ray? Who's Ray?
He owns Heart of a Champion. Ray Perez and Deb Perez. They help me out with my boxing a lot. So I started doing that this camp. I feel like that would help me out.
I've heard a lot of good things about Johnny Aguilar, like that Monsters Den, that whole program, what they got going on over there. So what is his strength like as a coach? What does he bring like whenever you're training with him?
I think you know, like a lot of old school MMA coaches back in the day didn't have MMA fights. What I feel like is so good about him is he's fought MMA. He's boxed. He's done so many things. Been training 20, 25 years. So he has so much knowledge underneath him.
How old is he?
40. He's like the founder. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. He's like 45.
He's a bigger guy too. He's not small.
Yeah, so he has a lot of knowledge, I think, and then going to the boxing gym at Heart of a Champion. Ray has a lot of knowledge too, and he's coached a lot of good guys. So.
What are Ray's strengths? Like whenever you're training with Ray, what do you expect out of Ray? What is he gonna pull out of you? Like whenever he's training you, what are his strengths? And hey, then we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that.
Boxing, really. He's a strictly boxing gym, but I've been telling him a lot. Like I want to work on my power, I want to work on my speed, and I want to work on my cardio. You know, just the basic things. And he's like, okay. And then we come in, and then he has me do my thing. If I spar that day, we spar that day, but a lot of times it's just drill and repetition, like you just said earlier. You know, we work the same few things over and over and over and over and over. And I love that.
You had a training session today, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
What did you do today? What was your day like today?
So this morning I woke up at about 7:30, do my shit, pray, eat, go to the gym, train from 9 to 11. I work with my students right there. I actually have a couple of my students fighting on the card. Shout out Jaden Williams and Edward Caldera. They're 2 of my guys fighting on this November 1st Tapper Scrap card. Look out for them. So we train in the mornings with them, and I have a few other students. They're not fighting yet, but they will be soon. So we work. I train them. We work over grappling, striking, and then we just do a bunch of drills, same thing. Take the rest of the day off. Then I go back training at 6. I just train from pretty much 6 to 7:30, just sparring.
Okay, so you got 2 different dudes fighting, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Edward, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so who's he fighting?
Couldn't tell you right now. Right off the top of my head. Not off the top of my head. I forgot.
Have you seen the guy fight though?
I have. He fought Kenny Smooth the last fight. Kenny Smooth's out of Satori.
Okay, so what are Edward's strengths?
Edward's a tough bastard, is what Edward is. Not only that, he has really good submissions. I think a lot of people overlook his grappling. His grappling's really good, and he's just really, really tough. So when you come to fight him, you better be ready to fight. It's not a match; it's a fight.
Yeah.
And then Jaden's an athlete, so I don't want to give too many of his things away. He hasn't fought yet. He's a debuter, so I want him to come out and surprise everyone. You know, show him what Jaden does.
Oh yeah, that's
I
good.
call him Jay Tyson. That's enough.
Jay Tyson?
Jay
Oh,
Tyson.
Shit, I ain't trying to fuck with Jay Tyson.
Nah.
So in 10 years, what do you want to look back and say that you accomplished in life? Like out of everything, like you're going through this fight stage, like the stuff that's happened with your dad, your whole life and stuff. What really do you want to say in life that you've accomplished, like with everything when you look back in your career?
Of course, I think my very first goal starting out was just to become a black belt. I think that was what one of the motivating factors was.
In jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, in jiu-jitsu, which is now more of like a. Of course, I train jiu-jitsu every day for my fighting, but like even in the gi is what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, I train no gi to fight, but for a hobby, I put on the gi and I train in my gi.
Who's the baddest man in the gi?
I don't know. In the gi?
Stop, bro. You got it.
We're talking about in the world right now?
No, ever.
Ever?
Royce Gracie.
You could say him. You could say Marcelo Garcia.
Marcelo, who's he? Okay. Okay, well, how would you compare him to Royce?
Marcelo won a lot of... I know he's a no-gi grappler as well, but he's really good in the gi. You have, who else?
Royce just bleed the gi.
Leandro Lowe, he passed away recently, but he was one of the best modern competitors. You guys
Modern
shot in the
competitor.
bar. R.I.P. Leandro Lowe.
Wow.
Yeah, but he was a
When
really
you bleed
good
the gi, that's
competitor.
what people are going to do.
Yeah,
They don't want to do no fighting.
he was a great competitor. You have Nicholas Marigali right now, real modern. He switched to no-gi. Everyone's switching to no-gi. It's where the money is. But, yeah, there's some really good gi players still. It's a dying art, though.
Yeah. Okay, so, like, what do you think the difference is? I mean, do you think it's an advantage or disadvantage to have a gi? If you know how to use it, it's definitely an advantage.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. If you know how to use it, it's definitely an advantage. But just when we both have gis on, it slows the match down a lot, and it makes it more play-by-play. Like, we're talking about checkers, no-gi, and chess in the gi. You have certain grips that you can't even use. You can't put your arm in a certain place because something happens. If I leave my neck out like this, then he's grabbing my collar and choking me. So it's really
Okay, so when he's talking about a gi, he's talking about the actual karate uniform.
Yes.
So it's kind of like over you, so then you're able to grab something. Where in a bare fight where we both have our shirt off,
sweat becomes a factor.
Sweat becomes a factor. I'm not able to grab you.
Yeah.
Or anything like that.
So if you have clothes on, jiu-jitsu works phenomenal. When you got no good clothes on, then you should look to grapple and stay on top and beat that ass.
Yeah. That's your coaching tip of the day.
Yeah.
Stay on top,
So if you got no shirt on, you better punch him in the face. If you got some clothes on, then a little submission's fine.
So have you ever been knocked out in a fight or knocked out period in training?
Never actually.
You've never felt that?
I've been hit fucking hard and been sat down.
How's that feel?
Tastes like you, it tastes like you bit down on a battery is what it tastes like.
Tastes like you bit down on a battery.
Yeah.
I've had that in football, like where you get hit so hard and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm in a football game.
You know,
okay, so when did you get hit like that?
Shit, Dylan kicked me a month ago really hard right across the face. Shout out Dylan Aguilar. He's Tiny Aguilar, Johnny Aguilar's son. He's one of our pro fighters out of Victoria. He's on the come up. I would shock to see him not in the UFC in the next few years. He's gonna go some places. So look out for Dylan Aguilar, the Angel of Death. That motherfucker's cold.
Well, okay, so Chris Black. I keep hearing about this guy, right? Tell me about Chris Black.
Chris is a banger. He's you better get ready for him. What is he saying on there?
Hey,
I can see he said
so tell me
I can't see it.
He said Chris just put my shin on mic duty.
Yeah. Thanks for kicking me in the hip earlier, bro. My hip's fucked too.
Okay, so every time I hear about this guy, they say whenever he fights, MMA is out the window. He's just trying to kill you.
Yeah, my boy throws bombs even in training. Like he trains how he fights.
So, hey, you know in football, like the dude that just goes too hard hitting drills.
Yeah.
And you're like, bro, chill out, bro. We're in practice. You don't gotta hit me like that.
If you would want to compare Chris Black to someone, you compare him to Sean Strickland. I don't know if you've heard of.
Come on, stop, bro. Come on.
But
Man.
I would say Chris is a Sean Strickland type of guy. Says what he wants, does what he wants, and he's a banger. He's cool. He's a cool dude.
Yeah. I'm gonna have him on next week. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have him on. So, okay, so what is his fighting style like? Like, what is he good at, and what is he? So everybody just says he just throws.
Yeah, Chris is a banger for sure. He throws hard, but I think a lot of people, what they don't see is they see he's actually kind of good at grappling. Even though he'll tell everyone he doesn't like to grapple and he doesn't want to do this.
When you say grappling is not an option?
He's an anti-jiu-jitsu fighter.
He's anti-jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Anti-wrestling.
He can. Don't get it twisted. He has some nice submissions and some nice grappling. He's a counter wrestler though, so he wants to look to keep the fight on the ground and knock you out. He's a fighter's fighter. The people would like him a lot.
Yeah, because he's always going to try to put on a show. You know what? I think it's like that. Is he kind of like Chuck Liddell a little bit?
Yeah, I would say so. That's a very good comparison. Just a banger.
Just how Chuck used to just throw every angle at you.
Yeah, Chris throws uppercuts hard, just everything hard. He has a mean right hand. Shit, he kicks hard. He's just a real mean fighter.
Yeah. And in your striking, what do you think your strength is? Is it the hook? Is it the jab? Or is it just basically consistency on everything?
Yeah, I feel like just a culmination of everything. Being able to mix all the punches and the kicks and the knees, mixing them all together, and then being able to throw something when you're thinking of something else. Like I may show you a right hand, hit you with the left hook. Show you a left hook, hit you with the right hand. You know, keeping it simple but keeping it complicated.
Yeah, and then how do you, like whenever you strategize for a fight, how do you go about that? Because like as soon as I throw something that you're not ready for or didn't plan for, it's different. So then you have to wing it. So how do you like prepare for a fight and strategize for a fight and get in your head, this is my game plan, but okay, this happened. How do you calculate that in the moment?
Yeah, I think that's where your sparring comes into play. You know what I'm saying? Not everything's always going to go to play, even in your sparring. Like, even though I may be trying to do this, work on this one specific thing, it may not work. So how do I get around it, right? And then, of course, my sparring partners, I'm catering to be like Michael Moylan is, you know, a southpaw, taller. And then my coaches are helping me out a lot, too, with the game plan. You know, I don't want to give too much away, but, of course, they're working behind the scenes, telling me what I should be looking for and what I shouldn't be doing.
Okay, so your mom, how does she support you in this? Okay, I saw her at the fight. Like, I'm like, okay, how do you watch your baby fight? Like, and she seems like she handles it well.
Yeah,
like
no.
you watch your son, and then everybody's like cheering against you, cheering with you, and it's like whoop his ass, whoop his ass. So it's like, how do you handle the storm when somebody's just saying, you know what, kill my baby?
So first thing is, we grew up fighting in the front yard. So you had a problem with someone in the family, you just fought in the front yard. So I've seen my family get down before, and you know we've had to get down before. So I think her seeing that helps a little bit. And then yeah, I think, you know, it's just a sport. They have a dream like I have a dream, but we're fighting for it, and that's what's good about it. And I think, you know, she can't do nothing about it. She just has to watch it.
Because I went up to her, I was like, yeah, she's nice. She's like, oh my god, no.
Yeah.
And then,
No,
okay,
she's
so your stepmom, you have a stepmom? And
Yeah.
How does she in your life, like, what does she do? How does she support you?
She comes to the fights as well. She sits with my mom. Her and my mom are really good friends as well.
And yeah, that's crazy.
So, you know, with them being good friends, she sits at the table with them, and then they just watch. They chill. I love them
I
both.
always said that, like, the bond between Trino and your dad was crazy, like how they were so close.
Yeah.
And then everybody was just like for the kids and just.
Yeah, that's
put
what I
their
like
pride
about
aside.
them is, you know, they were an actual inspiration to how you should try to be or, you know, want to be instead of, you know, being a problem. You should look to be the solution, which is cool. You know, like, just badass getting to see that at a young age, knowing, like, no matter what your differences are, you know, like my parents divorced, they were still able to get along afterwards. For me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember. I would go out with Trino and your dad, like we'd be on the same side.
Yeah, no, they were
They're
cool.
both really cool.
Shit, even when Hurricane Harvey happened, my dad let us. They fucked up our house in Bloomington, and my dad let us move in and live with them for a while. So it was me, my mom, Trino, my dad, and my stepmom all in one house.
Yeah, that's real shit.
Yeah, no, it's, you know, just real.
Me and your dad got into it. Me and your dad got into it. We started having words drunk, and Trina's like, "You fight him, I'm jumping you."
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Dude, bro, like y'all, like, come on, man,
They keep it
y'all
real.
side with each other."
That's right.
So, yeah, it's crazy. How did Trino affect you? Like, whenever you were growing up, how was Trino there for you, and what did he really like instill in you? Like, because I know he was a good stepdad and there for you, and what did you really learn from him? You know what I mean? Because he was there.
You know, they're just real supportive. You know, if I'm doing something, they're gonna make sure that I'm supported. You know, they don't really fucking go against me. That's what's cool about them. They like, you want to fight? Let's make sure you do it all the way. Let's help you out and do it then. They don't want to go against me and make things harder than they need to be. They help me out with it, and yeah, they motivate me too. Like, Trino's always kind of been my coach at baseball, always trying to help me out.
Trino's really good at baseball.
Yeah, he's a good motivator. You know what I'm saying? He makes you work. He's not on that weak shit that 2024 kids be on nowadays.
Never on some weak shit.
You know what I'm saying? So I think, you know, hearing the old school way gets you motivated. It's not like, it's not, you don't get the pat on the back.
Yeah, me and Trino would always be my high
I never got a pat on the back. You know, I always had to work my ass
close.
off.
Like,
yeah.
we're Trino every weekend. Me and Trino, me and your dad, like we were all really close, tight in the group. So that's really cool. So okay, going into this fight, how are you leading up to it? Like, what are you doing, and what are your plans, and how are you going to prepare, diet wise and everything? What is your vision for this fight?
I started my camp probably like 2 weeks ago. You know, I really just, like I said, I listen to my coaches real well. I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything. So things I don't know, I go ask my coaches. When they want me to do a longer camp, I'll do a longer camp. If they want me to eat a certain thing, I'll eat a certain thing. You tell me, I'm a soldier. You tell me to go kill, I'll kill.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like you said, though, I mean, right now I'm just kind of eating what I want, trying to be fat, honestly, trying to put on some weight, get to about like 130.
What'd you weigh today?
Today, after training, like 123, 124, so, you know, like right on weight. Yeah, you know, so I'm just trying to get fat right now. Probably like 6 weeks out, I'll eat a little cleaner, cut all the bullshit, all the sugar out, and then really dial everything back, and then I think I'll be in perfect.
Do you think so do you think it's an advantage? Because I think it's an advantage because that person is actually going to an unhealthy state to make a weight class where I walk around like this every day, this is what I do.
And not only that, you know, while these motherfuckers are trying to cut weight all week and run in a sauna bag and do their push-ups and do their gauges.
Stressed out.
Yeah, they're stressed out. I'm training. I'm hitting the bag. I'm sparring still. I'm hitting mitts. I'm at 100% energy. Not worried about cutting weight. I'm worried about the fight. So they're worried about cutting weight. I'm worried about fighting. I'm not worried about that.
That's amazing. So do you have Instagram?
Yeah, I do. 762 Chris Gonzales MMA.
TikTok?
Nah, no
No
TikTok.
TikTok, Facebook though, yeah.
Yeah, Facebook.
Facebook.
Kristopher.
We need some
Gonzales.
sponsors for this guy. I've seen him fight. His dad was an amazing person. He's an amazing person. So people looking to sponsor athletes that want to, wear their logo and stuff really need to look into this guy. So
Yeah,
he's
thank
a
you.
really amazing person and athlete. So any shout outs that you have?
Yeah, let me shout out my team, all the guys, Dylan, Joseph, Johnny, Chris Black, Jaden, Edward, all my guys that I train with. If I forgot anyone, sorry. Zeke, my boy Zeke, don't forget Zeke the Freak. He's coming up too. He's one of our fighters as well. He fights for Fury and for Peak. I would be looking for his pro debut soon as well. He's one of our better fighters.
Yeah.
But yeah, all my guys at the gym, all the guys at Heart of a Champion, Ray, Debbie, Coach Tiny, Coach Stacy, Coach Jimmy, all of them, everyone that's helping me out, thank you all a lot. This win is going to be for everyone, not just me.
Yeah. One thing I want to tell you is that, like knowing your dad, I'm proud of you. And you might not know that you have a lot of people that care about you, but you really do, and you have a whole support team behind you. You got people walking around the community that knew him and loved him, and they love you too just because you're a part of him.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like, even being at his funeral, seeing how many people were there, and everyone there is like, when are you going to fight again? We all want to go. We all want to go. And
Where was it? It was right over here, right?
yeah, at, I don't know the name of the funeral home, but it's right here, right across the street. So, yeah, I try to go out there pretty often and talk to him and see him.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, Chris Gonzales, we need some sponsorships. And then, this guy's fighting November 1st at Tapper Scrap, so tune in. And it is what it is.